last week we really wanted to get started, and we kind of got derailed. But it's really great to have Andrew Marshall with us and Richie and me again um, for Mentality Unleashed. This is, I think, our third podcast we've done now, and it's just a really great moment to get together and have a chat. Um, Literally about everything, but um, probably wanted to start with um, I was talking to Andrew, I think last week, and Andrew's been doing lots of stuff to get ready for a marathon that he's got um, coming up in December. And so I've been like quietly following him on Facebook, and it's been inspiring me. So I don't know, Rich, have you been checking that out too?
I did wonder what you were doing actually. Prior to the show, Andrew and I were chatting, and he let me into the secret that he's doing a marathon. And I was watching because you have a lot of content, which I absolutely love. And there's a lot going on in your life. So I was like, which new thing are you doing now? And now it's like, boom, I'm going to do a marathon. And it's like, I mean, I know you're fit as hell anyway, but like it's just something I've never ever thought of doing myself because I hate running. If I'm honest with you, I'll push weights all day, but I just hate running. So I always admire people who say, "Do you know what? I'm going to train for a marathon and then I'm going to go and do it." Because when I was younger, I did a marathon in the Falklands, and it was just the worst experience of my life. So I totally I feel the pain that you go through when you're training, but also I love the fact that you're doing it.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I love it. It's challenging like anything, and there's many days, especially Sunday mornings, where you know, I'm making myself get up at 5 a.m. and go run. And it's like, well, would be nice to stay in bed this here Sunday morning, but it's exponentially more satisfying to get up and go get that long run in. And even though I've worked through several physical challenges, several pains and seems like I'm working through them well. Um, and at the end of the day, it just feels amazing. Like I just
Yeah.
feel when I'm out there running, I'm running with the sunrise or just breathing the fresh air, and I just get hit with a moment of just mental clarity and inspiration. And I just feel so fucking grateful to be alive. Like
Yeah.
that to me is why I'm like out there moving. Like there's nothing I'd rather be doing.
Yeah,
Like
you got stunning views though, haven't you? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, me, I'm in New York. I can't say my views are that great. I'm happy to be here, but where you are, dang man, it's like it's mind blowing seeing some of your pictures and videos that you put up. It makes us jealous. But let's put it
yeah,
that way.
Hawaii, man, like oh my God.
Mm,
I feel really blessed to live here. I feel really, really blessed to be
yeah,
here. And it feels like a relationship with this island. I feel blessed to have developed a relationship with this island and it is spectacular. It's like we live down here at sea level, but in less than half an hour, you can be up at 6,000 feet elevation in the mountains. And I actually put a post about this earlier this week, is that Hawaii is known for its beaches, right? Everyone thinks that when you think Hawaii, you think beautiful beaches, surfing, ocean, all that, which of course there is that. But to me, the most beautiful places I've been and some of the most amazing experiences I've had have been up in the mountains here. And like just less than a week ago, I was up bow hunting with a guy who grew up here on the island up, and we're about, well, I'm American, so I'm speaking in feet, right? 7,000 feet elevation hunting. So
I
do the
got you. I can
math
do
over
feet too.
3,000 meters up there, right? And
mm,
um, and you can see when I go on my runs in the morning, the sunrise hits the mountain, which is called Mauna Kea, right up here from Hilo. Hilo is basically at the base of Mauna Kea, which is, gosh, if I do a quick meters math, it's over a 4,000 meter tall mountain, that we're just
Wow.
looking directly at. Like it's huge right here in the middle of the ocean, So
mm.
Was it a volcano, Andrew, or was it?
yeah, there's five big mountains or volcanoes here on the island that have all been, a few of them are still active, and they've all been very active throughout history.
Mm.
Crazy, man. And like the what I know about, like, Hawaii draws loads of athletes too, and
Yeah.
like the Hawaiian Ironman was always really big whenever I was following triathlons and doing the on triathlon in the 90s and the early
That's here in
2000s.
Kona.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
man.
here in Kona on this island. Yeah.
My old coach went and did the Hawaiian Ironman, and we just thought this was like the most exotic thing ever that he went. And he was training and training and training to ride on the salt flats. And it was going to be so hot there. So he took his bike and put it on rollers and was riding in the sauna to get ready. So he's like
Oh,
training
wow.
in the
Yeah,
sauna to
yeah.
get ready for the Hawaiian
Wow.
Ironman. We were like, we just thought this guy was superhuman, right? So you you know, and you must see some of these guys training too on their aero bikes and uh whenever, you know what I mean? Like, and that's such a buzz around all that.
Yeah, we're on the other side. There's the Hilo side of the island and then the Kona side. So the Kona is where they have the Ironman. And it was
Yeah.
actually just, gosh, it was just over a week ago. It just happened actually. So we
Class.
were over there um, on that side and we saw them training. You don't see them year round, but once the
No.
Ironman comes around, then they're all over.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about, so you're living at sea level in Helos, is that right?
Hilo, yeah.
Hilo. And to get to 5,000, 7,000 feet, you must feel a difference in the air quality. You must feel like you can eat the air at sea level as opposed to when you're up in the mountains there.
It's completely different. Yeah. Yeah. This island's amazing because you're in this tropical environment down here, right? And it's more humid. It's pretty comfortable though. Like it's really nice. It's a nice balance. But then you drive up and you get up to 6,500, 7,000 feet, which is where the highway that goes through the middle of the island, that's the highest point of it, around
Yep.
6,500 to 7,000 feet. And I'm from the Pacific Northwest. It's probably there's a similar kind of quality of air, I think, in the UK and maybe even in the Northeast, even though Northeast is a little more humid. But the air up there feels like that.
Mm.
Like
It feels
thin.
like what you'd be like just crisp,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
like
yeah.
fresh air. Like it feels like you're back in the mountains in the Northwest, in the Pacific Northwest, or maybe you're up in Ireland somewhere. It's similar to that, which is really cool because you're out here in Hawaii, but all of a sudden you're breathing that crisp, cool air.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone could ever draw a comparison between Ireland and Hawaii other than to say that they are both islands.
Yeah.
They they are not similar. If it's raining in Hawaii, it's most definitely raining here. If it's
Yeah.
sunny in Hawaii, it's most definitely raining here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm so jealous. Like, look at the color of my skin. It's like pasty this time of year. I can't. I have to go and buy a suntan here.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
look so healthy, man. Like, so I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Well, come on out. Come on out. I
I,
know
oh
it's
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man.
Next year, I tell you. So for everyone who's watching and listening, because it does go out as video and as audio as well. So Andrew, you run retreats in Hawaii. So do you want to tell us all about that? Because I know for me, I've said that I'm definitely next year, probably the back end when you've got one running, that I'm going to be coming out to experience what you do and what you offer. But please tell everyone everything about what you do and tell us about the guys that go and what they can get from it.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I mean, obviously, I'd be so grateful and honored to have you come out, Richie, or any good men come out to have a life transformative experience. For the past few years, I've been leading these Big Island men's retreats, and we have two of these Big Island men's retreats who are for men of all walks of life to come and have a life transformative, healing, uplifting, inspiring experience. Um, and then I'm also doing a men's jujitsu retreat. So that's also a men's retreat, kind of same personal development theme that naturally gets weaved into it, right? but it's for specifically for men who have been training jiu-jitsu for a while and want to come out and have a great hard training jiu-jitsu experience and have it be personalized. And I focus on helping them up level their game in an exponential way in that week, along with having a beautiful Hawaii experience. So, yeah, when the first we kind of lived here for a while in 2016 and 17, and then in that time, I got the a vision came to me for facilitating men's retreats on the island here. So it's just like all of a sudden this clarity, this vision, this perspective of it came to me. So I started working on it. I was collaborating with a guy back in 2017. It didn't ended up not working out. We put out flyers, we put dates, we did all this, but it just didn't flow. It wasn't quite right. We ended up moving back to the Pacific Northwest for a while. And but in that time, it was a couple years before I even revisited the idea. Just it kind of got put on the shelf. And then I revisited it, more clarity came. I ended up organizing and getting a group of guys together, mainly from our jiu-jitsu community. And I think it was 2021. Yeah, 2021, we did our first Big Island men's retreat, and it was just incredible. It was a huge success. And all the men that came on that retreat had incredible, shifts in their lives, incredible benefit brought to their lives. There's, of course, what we initially want to shift with any experience like this is how you're feeling on a daily basis, right? I want men to be leaving this experience feeling inspired, enlivened, like they have clarity for how they can live with more health and purpose and energy and passion, right? For whatever it is that they're doing. And then the more surface layer, but of course, very beneficial things that a bunch of the men came out of it with is in doing that work and having this and stepping out of their normal environment and normal daily grind and having this experience, multiple of them not too long after got new jobs, their businesses grew, multiple of them got engaged and married or got into a new relationship that was better or got out of an old relationship that was not serving them, like all these things started happening for all these men. And even me as the facilitator, I end up at the end of these retreats, I end up feeling like I just went on an amazing retreat experience and I'm feeling the benefits as well. And of course, the fulfillment of supporting these men. We've done a few more retreats since then, and and we're just getting better every year. And it's
And
been very impactful
they
every
have to
time.
be really unique, like Andrew. Like retreat you go to, it's a different group of men, it's a different
Yeah.
atmosphere, and everyone brings a different energy. So it's got to feel different every time. Is that right?
Completely different. There's the same theme, the same underlying theme and principles of what we're doing, but every retreat has been vastly different from the other. And I want it to be that way. I don't go in trying to make a cookie cutter experience. I have, like I said, there's the general themes, there's similarities with each retreat, but each one's very different. And even though we have had several returning men come to two or three of them, which is awesome, um, you'll never, I'm aware that in every retreat, even if some of these men come back, never again will this group of men be assembled here in the middle of the ocean, right?
I love
So
that.
I look at it through that lens and it's like, holy shit, this is a once in a lifetime experience that we're all sharing together. And we're all going to bring 100% of our presence and effort to make it the best possible experience for every man here, not just to have a cool time on the retreat, but to make a real, tangible, integrative shift and difference in your life going forward forever. Like that's the intensity and the energy that I bring to every single one of those. And within doing that deep and awesome work together, we end up having just an absolutely amazing time. Just guys being guys, laugh like especially on the first one, I'm like, holy shit, I haven't laughed that much, I think ever. Like each one, there's more laughter than I even expect, along with doing the deep work, along with the tears, along with the the vulnerability or whatever we need to do to help excavate the things that are
Like,
holding any of the men back.
I bet you they don't even realize half of them when they come, just what they're carrying around with them and just how heavy it is. And
Yeah.
then they get a moment where they just step out of their life and they all come together and then they go, oh yeah, holy hell, man. And all you have to do is probably mention some of it. And it's just their
Yeah.
emotions just come right to the top, not getting a chance in their life to take heed of anything or to process what they're feeling. And yeah, man, it's gotta be amazing. It's gotta be amazing.
It's my favorite thing to do. It's 100% my favorite thing to do. And it's just like you said, you pointed to it, it's really actually quite simple. You know, if you have a container with other men that you trust and you clear away all the layers of stuff that you're normally having to put all your attention on, and you just get to be in nature and feel yourself, and then, it opens up so much. And then on top of just doing that, then we bring cutting edge, life transformative experiences, processes, methodologies to then facilitate the depth and the shifts. And yeah, like I said, there's nothing, it's my absolute favorite thing to do. Hence also why, part of what started the conversation between Richie and I and the work with Mentality Matters and being able to move towards doing retreats through Mentality Matters for men that really need it. And because wherever I get a chance to go and be in person and sit down with a group of men that are eager and hungry for their healing, for their freedom, for their aliveness, for life to have a deeper purpose and meaning again, whatever it may be, that's where I want to be.
Mm.
But that's that's powerful, man, because I think when people come and they come with an open mind, they just need a little bit of external stimuli, something that they don't have with them. I
Yeah.
mean, um, it's like you said, people, they really need it. These men that come to Mentality Matters, they need it. And let's be honest, if some of them don't get the help that they need, they don't go on. They don't get past it. And I mean, I know Richie and I both share. There's a lot of our friends and a lot of guys that we work with that are no longer here. They
Mm.
didn't get a chance. They didn't get a chance to speak to somebody, or there wasn't a group available that resonated with them, and
Mm.
they just ruminated on their own thoughts over and over and over, and there was nothing new added,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah,
So
it's hard. It's a painful reality, like doing the push-up challenge that Richie initiated, and I really took that to heart. And I know it's one, you say like, okay, it's a fun thing to raise awareness, but the topic ain't fun in any way
Mm.
whatsoever,
no,
right? The reality
it's
of the
dark, man.
statistics. But it's so important for us to actually put our awareness on. And there are certain things that you guys obviously, I don't not going to tell you guys anything new, but there are certain things that a human being can experience that they just do not know how to process,
Mm.
or you're
Yeah.
even capable of processing to a healthy degree. It's and there's always a way to support someone who's gone through that. And like you said, people, if a man's just ruminating in his own thoughts, just doesn't know that actually there is someone out there that can sit and be with them and help things get better. There is a way out there that a shift can happen. And it's just about, and I guess that's the beauty of something like Mentality Matters. An organization like this is you can be out there and remind men that they're not alone in their challenges and in their struggles. And that could be the little difference. Say, all right, I'll reach out and talk to someone. And
Mm.
then just open the door, open the door, open the door.
There was this idea that I had. It's like the idea that if a man comes to speak to another man, it's like this idea of one downmanship. They feel like they're going to be one down, and if they go to speak to someone else, they're putting that person one up, and it's a position of weakness from the start. I think a lot of men think that, like, I'm going to have a weak position here if I go and speak to this man, and I'm going to look weak. And it's not a correct, it's not a correct way to look at it. But I think probably traditionally, when one man's looking at another man that they don't know, there's a certain sort of adversarial, I'm sussing you out, you're sussing me out, and I want to talk to you, but I don't want to feel weak.
Mhm.
You almost have to open up the topic first and use words that I understand to help me feel comfortable before I maybe start to add into the conversation, and then it becomes a conversation. You know, I think there's that one downmanship, and I just noticed whenever I speak to a lot of guys that I work with, and some of my friends, they almost never ever want to appear or feel one down. Nobody does. But if I said, Andrew, like, look, man, fuck, I had a really shit week this week, and I had no time for myself. It was the anniversary of my buddy's death. He died of cancer there, and I just can't stop thinking about it. Um, and it's really, really fucking bothering me, and it's eating on me. And my kids want to play, and I can't play. I mean, they're drawing me away, but I just can't get away from it. And I might be able to like sort that out myself, but maybe not. And it's difficult for a man to be able to open up a conversation like that if they've
Yeah.
never done it before.
And to run with that and give a bit of a real life example in case there's a man who this would be supportive to, or men would be that this would be supportive to out there. I would say, man, Brendan, I feel you. Would you like help with that?
Mhm.
Yeah, and like give them a chance, give them a choice. Yes,
Yeah.
I do want help.
Mhm.
Give them a chance to invest into it.
And
Um,
then if you said yes, I'd say, all right, man, if there was the space to do it right then and there, I would drop into a process with them. If not, I'd say, well, hey man, if you'd like help with that, I'd be very happy to schedule a time with you. We just schedule a 1 hour window, and you and I can drop in, and I can help you process this in a real way so that you can go back to engaging with your kids in the way that you want to, and not be held down or be stuck in this cycle. Would you be interested in that?
I think most men probably have never had anyone speak to them so frankly and ask that. And I think given the opportunity, I would definitely say yes, mate. I do. I would love that. Uh,
Yeah.
but I might not want to do it right away. I might need to go away and think about it.
Hmm.
But the fact that it's there automatically takes away the loneliness and isolation that I was feeling,
Yeah.
and I maybe didn't get a chance to get what I had off my chest, but I was able to connect with you or with someone else like you, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter how dark I'm feeling, there's this little glimmer that was there that wasn't. And it's just a thought, and it might give somebody that pause that they need, just a pause to go, fuck, I'm not going to go and do this thing that I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to go back to Andrew because actually he looked at me and he saw what I was feeling, and he did want to help. And you know what I mean? To think that we could have an opportunity to save someone's life, um, it's really something that I don't want to miss. And I know you guys feel the same way. It's really good that we're able
Yeah.
to. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this, to seeing you tonight and to talking, and because I was actually feeling terrible today. I had a headache, and it was a very long week. It's just really
Mhm.
nice that we get a chance to shoot the shit, you know. I was really jazzed up about it. I was just a little bit late there. I thought I had another hour, but it didn't.
All good. The time worked out, and yeah, I've been looking forward to this as well. And I want to say one more piece to that before we close that thread, and then I want to give
Mhm.
Richie a chance to jump in with anything here. Um, but I think part of a hesitation for men to open up in certain circumstances to other men as well as sometimes, and this is a very masculine way of being is like, okay, Brendan, you share with me the shit week you've had and the anniversary of your friend passing, and this is running through your mind, and you can't seem to open up and play with your kids or whatever you need to do. And then how would you feel if I just was like, oh man, but you should just do this. Oh man, you'll be all right. Like, just do this and this and this.
Hmm.
And I think there can be a hesitance because it's like, you don't fucking want that. Like, I didn't ask you for that. I was just, yeah, oh man, I wish I didn't say anything. Like, yeah, if I could have done that myself, I wouldn't have said anything to you. Like, thanks for stating the obvious, or just something like that. So there can be that jumping in with advice, or there could even be me of being like, yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I mean, and just taking more of a passive approach, not having much to say, or it being awkward or something, right?
It's like
But I think the strength is in saying, do you want help with that? And I give you the ability to then initiate, right?
it's not I'm not prescribing you an answer. You're not prescribing somebody here. Just like you said here, well, here, like, mate, just do this, this, and this, and sure you'll be grand.
Hmm.
Because I think actually people are really, really quick to do that. Here's I'll tell you what you need. Here, just do this. Ah,
Yeah.
cheers, buddy. Thank you. I feel so much
Yeah.
better.
I think that's social media as well. I think, as guys, we're growing up on social media. Maybe not us because we're older. I can class ourselves as in part of the old crew now. But in your late teens, 20s, even at early 30s now, everyone's growing up getting advice from 50 million people on social media, and a lot of the advice is just actually hearsay or an opinion, and it's not actually fact based. So you've got a lot of people going, oh, I feel weak if I come out and I have those conversations, and I think that's where the learnings come from. Everyone's being guided, and probably misguided is a better representation of what social media does. But it takes organizations like ours and like Andrew's to bring men back around to go, that's not what reality is. We talk about the wolf pack in the charity. And men can stand alone. You can be a lone wolf, but at some point that pack feels great. And it's about getting back into it and understanding that, you can, the jujitsu that Andrew does, and you mentioned
Yeah,
earlier on about
class, man.
you're going to be doing the retreat for that as well. Um, it, we talk about doing things on our own, and I like to take it back to my martial arts days. I've done karate, kickboxing, boxing. I love contact sports. Um, More so because it taught me to control my emotions a lot better. But when I'm training with someone else, and that someone else might be a higher belt than I am. They may be way more experienced than I am. They may be way just better at it, physically stronger. I don't go into that space thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get my ass kicked." I go into that space knowing that actually I need that person to spar with so that I can increase my abilities and I can get better and I can get fitter. And I think that's what it's all about, having other guys around you who are, and we talk about levels, whether they're a peer level, whether they're, you look at them, you look up to them, or whether people have just started. And, certainly in martial arts, there's always different levels that people are at. Doesn't make you better than the next person, and you don't judge them because actually all you're doing is you're trying to impart the knowledge that you've got onto them to help them train and be better. So I love bringing martial arts into things because I think that mentality that is taught through it is really
It
great for people, but certainly for men.
it's a connection as well.
Mm,
And you use that word impart, Richie, and I think that's really important because a lot of that connection has nothing to do with words. You're watching your sparring partner move. They're showing you something just by watching the move, just by watching the way they're using their body in their sport. They're showing you. They're showing you part of their skill. A
mm,
lot of it has nothing to do with words.
mm.
Um, and I think probably Andrew would agree with that too. I mean, there's always so much teaching that comes from words.
100%. There's speaking of, incredible men who did a lot of good work in the world. Um, but a man that's no longer here. This really amazing man who is First Nations, like a First Nations leader in Canada, and was also a jiu-jitsu black belt and traveled around the world, won a bunch of tournaments. He um he passed away in a sudden accident, so for whatever reason, it was just time for him to go. But the toughest individual you ever, like, you just imagine the toughest guy, tough as nails, just um thick skin, but also just open heart, spiritual depth, leader in his communities, right? Just an incredible man. He said one of the things that was really impactful that he said was someone asked him, or actually, he was the direct coach of my mentor. And my mentor asked him, "Why do you train jiu-jitsu?" And he just pointed to the mat and said, "There's no lying here."
Yeah.
Because it's not about words. It's like if you're going to tussle with another man and we're going to train together, there's no lying on the mats. There's no lying whether it's kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever. Your true colors are going to show immediately, and anyone who's been training for a while is going to get a very quick read, not maybe not on a lot of details, but a general read on who you are, how you move through the world, how you carry yourself, what your insecurities are, what your withholds are, and what your strengths are. That read can happen very quickly when you train together. And then all the bonds that I've developed with men over the years through training jiu-jitsu, we can have years go by. I never even hang out with these guys outside the gym. Maybe we don't even talk about the details of life, but these are my brothers. Like, I'm like, I know this guy, you know? So
You know them in a way that other people don't. You know them in a way
exactly,
that their family doesn't really know them. It's a different
exactly.
thing, isn't it? It's a different beast, man. You're totally right. There's no hiding. There's no hiding. People
Dude,
see you.
Bruce Lee said he did his whole talk. He said, honestly express yourself. He talked about martial arts can help you to honestly express yourself. And I was reflecting on that a number of years ago, and I realized, holy shit, it's not about cultivating the capacity to honestly express yourself. It's about recognizing that that's the only thing you're doing all the time,
Mhm.
and to make the choice of how you want to honestly express yourself. Oh shit, I'm honestly expressing myself in my insecurities, my weaknesses, my withholds, my hesitations. Like, that's all being honestly expressed all the time, and your strengths and your whatever. But it's like, it's not about whether or not you're honestly expressing yourself. It's about how consciously you're honestly expressing yourself.
Irregardless of whether these are like you're perceiving them as a negative thing or a positive thing, all of the things are honest and they're coming from you. They are you. You're not trying to portray this strong front, this bullshit ego. It's actually you, all of it. Honestly, I love that, man. That is so true, man. That is so true. And I think we actually have to wind this down. I can't believe so much time has gone so quickly, man.
No.
I
That's
feel like
it.
we
I
haven't.
have no idea. I have
We'll
no
have to do
idea.
two parts.
I
To
feel
do
like
two
I feel like
part.
we didn't even. We just got started here, man. It's
I
done.
know. I
We've
know.
been talking
I know.
about what have it 30 minutes at this point or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I'd want to ask, I know we're going to be closing down, but I'd love, because you do this all the time, Andrew, and you've got just a wealth of experience, and I'm a big advocate for you. You have coached me as we've gone through as well. I'm a big believer that everyone needs a coach, everyone needs a therapist, and in the therapy world, we say even therapists need therapists. So why would it not be the same for coaches? And I've done coaching for a long time, but we've had some amazing moments in our coaching sessions. So I'm a huge advocate, but I would love to hear just one piece of advice that you could give. And I know it's hard because you've got so much, but is there one big piece of advice that you'd want to give the guys or the family members that are listening and watching?
That's a tough one. That's a
There's
tough one.
a something comes up for me immediately to express, and it's one thing, but it's got a few things within it. So one is for the men out there, David Data is an incredible resource. He's an author. He's written multiple books. He's one of the most incredible, I would say, men's work and men's spiritual teachers that I've ever encountered. right? So David Data, he wrote Way of the Superior Man. He wrote several other books that are just incredible. But in one of his books, Blue Truth, he talks a lot about that we're doing one of two things in every moment. We're either opening or contracting. And the general practice and cultivation that I would leave anyone watching here with or listening here with, and any men who are wanting to embody the best versions of themselves, embody their full potential, and work through their challenges, is practice opening in the midst of discomfort, in the midst of pain, in the midst of challenge, and in the midst of beauty and joy. Practice opening rather than contracting. We can probably all feel if there's a challenging emotion arises, a painful experience happens. If we tune into ourselves, we can feel, even if our body doesn't change much, though it probably does, there's a subtle contracture in being that happens, right? Oh, I'm feeling fear. Contract, change, suppress, try to override, right? Or I can, oh, there's fear. Allow the front surface of my body to soften and open. Allow myself to be fully open in the full experience of the fact that I'm feeling fear right now. Breathe through it, not get lost in it, and say, okay, what am I going to learn? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do about this? Right? You're in a challenging, conflicting conversation with a spouse or with someone or another man. Are you contracting? Are you ready to defend? Are you closing off? Or are you fearlessly opening in the midst of everything you're feeling, holding the full spectrum of life and being open to whatever it brings? And then taking a proactive approach. What is mine to do? What is mine to do? What is mine to do? Are you opening or contracting?
To
Yeah.
be mindful of this feeling.
Mm.
Am I being right now? Am I feeling open, or right now am I contracting? And
Yeah.
then
Mm.
yes, to be cognizant of that. That's cool. That's cool, Andrew.
Love it.
I love that, man. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
buddy. Here, I got to put my kids to bed, man. It's not time. They're banging at the door over here. I can hear it. I
Right
locked it.
on.
I had to lock them
Well,
out, man.
I know I want to thank you guys for wanting to connect with me and giving me the space to share
Oh
today.
man,
I know you're
we gotta
both
do it. We gotta
you're
do it
both
again.
thank you. You're both incredible men in professionally, personally, as fathers, and I know that you guys could sit here and talk all day as well and share a lot of great wisdom, insight, strength, stories, and everything. So I just want to really appreciate the men that both of you are and the fact that you're giving the space for other men to share, for me to share, and that we're here collaborating with one another because it's all about this is what I was doing on my own as well. It's what Richie's doing. This is what you're doing, Brendan, is how do we grow a network of good men in the world? Because the more expansive our network of good, strong men, open-hearted men is, the better the world is for each one of us and the better the world is for everyone.
There, how
Absolutely.
much more open can you get than Hawaii, New York, and Ireland getting together in one place at one time?
Heck yeah.
Well,
I love it. I love it. And on that note, gents, thank you so much for your time. Honestly, I'm very
Absolutely,
appreciative of
guys.
every time I meet you guys. I come away with something amazing. So to everyone who's listening, drop us a comment below. Give us a like, share, and head over to Andrew's site as well. So it's embody-the-practice.com.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
amazing. Head over, have a look at the upcoming retreats for next year. Those spots are going to fill up pretty damn quick. So if you want to get on it, have an amazing time in Hawaii, please jump on. And I'll be there at some point, so you'll see my face too. But until next time, I'll sign off and
Okay,
catch you all
guys.
later.
Yeah,
All
Andrew,
right.
Thank
see
you
you,
so
Richie.
much.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
weekend.
You too.